Chocolate was first brought to Europe's awareness on Columbus's second trip in 1502. Lisa Nelson here with Roots Chocolate in central Wisconsin has brought it to her own form of excellence in what I think are great flavors of really terrific chocolate. Hello, Lisa.
Kyle! Hi, how are you?
Good. We got a farmer
Great to see you.
clipping
I'm
herbs
clipping
in her own
basil.
garden.
Yeah, because we're going to make some basil chocolate today. Chocolate mint basil.
Seriously.
Seriously? I've got a specific kind of basil that I like to work with. This is a Genesee basil. It's got the bigger leaves and it has a little bit milder flavor.
So you grow this specifically for your chocolate?
I grow it specifically for the chocolate and pesto.
Well, I'm a big fan of your chocolate, but I'm a bigger fan of learning how to make it with you and maybe trying some.
I'm looking forward to showing you the process.
Yeah? Do we have enough basil?
I think we have enough basil to take in and enough basil to work with. Yeah.
Then why are we standing here?
I don't know. I think we should go in.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go
Okay.
in.
So your great-great-great-grandparents founded this farm.
Yes.
And I mean, yeah, hay to chocolate, that's a perfect transition, right? Let's forget the soybeans and please explain this to me.
While I love farming and I love being here on the farm, I'm not big on genetically modified crops. So I thought, why not just grow our own things on the farm that I can put in the chocolate? There are about 43 different things growing on the farm right now that I hope will eventually come to fruition to use in the chocolates. These are sunchoke, so it's lavender. Lavender is kind of an interesting thing growing in Wisconsin. You can either do it really successfully or not really successfully. And I've managed to have enough every year to use in my chocolates, but I'd like to grow more.
So that's your farmhouse.
Yes.
But as I understand, what was once a three-season porch is now a chocolate factory.
Do you want to see it?
Yes.
Let's go have a look.
Cool.
Welcome to my chocolate kitchen.
It feels so underground and bootleggy in a way, except you're making delicious chocolate and it doesn't smell like whiskey, it smells like cocoa.
Right now we have to get some chocolate tempered so that we can make it.
Tempering is bringing it to temp.
Chocolate has a specific temperature,
It's
a work temperature, that it needs to be brought to in order for it to be pretty and shiny and have that snap that you're used to. I used to do it by hand, which took a lot of time.
That's street cred. I'm impressed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This one holds about 33 pounds of chocolate.
This is a combination of all of my Willy Wonka and Wisconsin foodie artisanal regional dreams come together.
Excellent.
And you have brought them to me.
I'm happy to do that, Kyle. Now you are hearing the fans kick in. That's going to start cooling it. Yeah, but the other thing that chocolate needs is movement. So that's I turn it up to about 80 RPMs per minute.
You got a little whirlpool going
and
here.
I've got a little whirlpool going. So what I'm doing is called seed tempering.
Okay.
And it just means I'm going to start adding a little bit of chocolate at a time.
So basically the friction and the heated pan are going to break this down and break it down evenly.
And so you'll be able to see the numbers.
Make sure your raw materials are good.
You'll be able to see the numbers start crawling down there.
This is very cool. I want you to know about the restraint that it's taking me and become Augustus Gloop.
I'm going to grab a piece of paper that I'm going to dip in there and we'll just do a quick test and see if it's ready. Yep.
You got it. And you just want to see it set up.
It's kind of like watching paint dry. So let's take a look at the temper here.
It's kind of coming together, huh?
So what I'm doing is I'm just pulling it off and you can see it's solid.
Yep.
And then it'll have a little bit of a snap to it.
It's
the crystallization of the chocolate coming together.
Yeah.
And the little crystals are forming together perfectly, which is what you want.
Which is why tempering is so key.
It's why it's so key. Otherwise, chocolates they'd still taste good, but they'd be ugly.
Yeah.
What I've made today is my chocolate mint basil. So what I have on the table here is a finished, what I call these slabs. And this one's already been flavored with the mint. If you were to put your nose up to it, you'd probably smell the mint in
going in. And the basil too.
For me, yeah.
That is when you rub the basil in your fingers and it already hits your nose, that's just 5 inches away from this chocolate.
Very olfactory.
Yeah.
This particular chocolate won an International Chocolate Award in New York.
Congratulations, big time!
In 2014. So this is a seasonal chocolate that I make, of course, when the herbs are ready. And this is what we're going to run through the chocolate machine. This is what we're going to run through the enroller is these squares.
I don't want this to melt in my
I
hands.
think you should probably, yeah, I think you should probably taste that.
Oh no, oh word. Sorry, one of the joys with chocolate is how it goes from this solid, essentially dry thing to just melting across your tongue. I expected the chocolate, but then you get this incredible herbaceous, they both came through so strong. It's so much more than any other piece of chocolate.
All right, so I'm going to get the chocolate making machine ready. I'm going to put this underneath so that it catches the chocolate. And what you'll see happen is what I call the chocolate waterfall.
Yeah.
That's what's going to cover the chocolate. I'm just going to make sure.
I mean, how many Willy Wonka references can we really have in one show? But like, you're calling it the chocolate waterfall.
Watch it go.
Oh. So I don't want an Oompa Loompa now, but I want one of these in my house. Okay, you ready?
So what I'm having you do here, Kyle, is space the ganache centers equidistant apart, just like you see the first 2 rows there.
This is really kind of a personal challenge for me because to be handling this many bite-sized pieces of chocolate and not immediately throwing them in my mouth, this is the epitome of self-discipline, really.
What I'm going to do is if you watch the belt there, through the chocolate waterfall.
It all sounds so docile and childlike. God, look at how beautiful they are. They're perfectly coated.
Now you'll see that belt, they're done coming off that belt and turning that belt off.
And then they go on
And
to
as
this little
soon as they
parchment.
get a little bit closer here, I'm going to turn this on and then this belt will start turning. And what I'm putting on is called a transfer sheet. It's actually made with cocoa butter, colored cocoa butter, but I'm just placing them so that they're on.
A butterfly wing dropped on top.
And you're actually seeing this is the new design for my chocolate mint basil. And then I'm going to go back and I'm just going to press lightly on the top of each chocolate.
Can I give it a try?
Yeah, real light tap. Yeah, see, then it fills out.
Really light tap.
Yeah.
So now it'll set up.
It's going to set up. Yep, these will set up. Then I'll pull the transfer off. And you get some of my nibs for you to smell. These are the Costa Rican nibs.
So explain to me what a nib is.
What happens at the country of origin is they'll slice a cow pod open. You can see the beans inside, and once they're fermented and dried, and when I get them, I roast them. And what happens is this goes through another machine that breaks it up, and it breaks it up into nibs. Just put your hand out. All right.
This is probably my favorite shoot we've ever had on this show.
What you're seeing here are the shells and the nibs. What I do is I put them through another machine that blows the shell in one direction, and the nib, because it's heavier, it falls into the bucket.
Nib, shell.
Nib, shell.
So if I eat these nibs, it's going to be pretty straightforward bitter.
It's going to be straightforward bitter. Yeah.
Nutty, it's really nutty.
You'll get nutty.
It's warm and soft and not particularly compelling. Like a walnut, an almond,
Right.
a cashew, any of those, I'd take any day over what I just munched down.
And then look what it becomes. Okay, Kyle, the moment of truth has come. It's time to, all you have to do is grab a corner and pull it off. See how it looks.
Oh, that's
Wow.
so gratifying and risky and dangerous and, I don't know,
Yeah.
craft-like all at the same time.
Yeah, see how pretty that is?
This is really cool.
Yeah.
So you could do anything. You could do a kangaroo,
Anything's possible.
anything on these, yeah. You know what I would have?
What would you have?
It would say smile. You're eating
I love
chocolate.
it. After it's all dried, I trim the foot, and then they go in the cups like this, and then they'll go in the box.
This is the whole path, correct?
This is pretty
We've-
much the whole path, yes.
We've done it.
We've done everything.
The only thing that's left is to taste.
The only thing that's left is to taste.
This is one of the prettiest spots that I've ever seen.
Thank you. In the coming year, we'll be launching a sunset chocolate experience on the farm.
Yeah.
Where you can come up, you'll be sitting here on the hill, you'll be tasting chocolates, you might be tasting things that are not released yet to the general public, and you'll get to experience a beautiful view. All right, now the first chocolate I'm going to have you taste is the tart cherry, straight from my orchard.
Oh, you got the cherry from the get-go. How do you do that with the chocolate where it's like biting into the fruit?
It's all about technique. It's all about finding the right chocolate to match the fruit that you're working with. The second chocolate that I'm going to have you try, that's the one with the orange rind on it. This one I worked with Old Sugar Distillery out of Madison with. It was kind of like having an old-fashioned in a chocolate.
Oh, wow. That's molecular gastronomy.
The last chocolate that we are going to taste is the lavender and honey, but I'm going to pair that with Bos Meadery's Equinox because they use lavender in this particular mead. Buckle up and taste out of the bottle, Kyle, with that chocolate.
That's great. It's so poised. Wow, that lavender is really subversively. So I'm doing this, right?
You're doing it.
I love visiting your farm.
You can come anytime.
These are really exceptional.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
glad you like it.
Yeah. Only on a Wisconsin Foodie would I end up at the top of a gorgeous farm hill with a panoramic view of central Wisconsin, eating exquisite gourmet chocolates and drinking straight out of the bottle.
Every era has its food and drink. Some never fade far into the fringes, while others get fixed and stale in history. That is, until some maverick breathes fresh air into it, combining the best of tradition and innovation. That's the case here at Bos Meadery, where mead, the world's oldest alcoholic beverage, has been made modern. I'm here to shake up my antiquated assumptions about mead with owners COLLEEN Bos and Peter DeVault. Must be COLLEEN,
Hi, yes.
the boss lady, right?
That's what they call me.
I'm Jessica.
Nice to meet you, Jessica.
This is an amazing space.
Well, thank you. This is our tasting room. This is a place for people to come and learn about mead because it does require some education. Nobody knows what it is, and I don't blame them. Wine is made with grapes, beer is made with barley. This is what you get when you ferment honey.
Let's sit down and dive in.
All right.
You can tell me all about mead, how it's made, all of your history lessons. I love it. Let's
Well,
get
I
started.
like your enthusiasm, but how about if I take you down the hall and show you where it's made first?
All right, that'll be fun. It's so perfumed. I'm starting to get a little thirsty.
Well, welcome to the production area. We have a lot of things fermenting here, and I think we'll be able to take care of your thirst.
Oh, fantastic.
But first, let me introduce you to the guy that we call the Yeast Lord. This is my partner, Peter DeVault.
Nice to meet you. Very fitting with the medieval reputation of mead.
Sometimes called the science officer, depends on what day it is.
So this is your kingdom, the
This
Yeast
is my
Lord.
kingdom.
I
right
love
here.
it.
It's getting smaller. They keep moving the table back a little bit.
Right, COLLEEN is moving your table back and back.
I remember when I could stretch all the way out.
So what do you do in your kingdom?
Well, we're going to start a batch of mead today.
Oh, fantastic.
So I think the first thing that we'll do is go over and take a look at the honey.
Okay, show me the way.
Let's go take a look at some good local honey.
So this honey, where does it come from?
This honey in particular is a Wisconsin wildflower honey that comes from a farm in Oxford, Wisconsin.
Honey is so viscous. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how you make it work.
And this is where I'll turn it over actually to the experts who every day help us make this magic happen. We have Jason and Bill over here who are actually going to pump the honey into the tank and then mix it up.
All right, I'm curious to see how this works. I won't get in the way, I promise.
They're
if you get
pros.
honey on the floor, man, like my son gets honey on the floor and it's just everywhere.
This is why our whole life is cleaning.
Can I peek inside?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to get in your way. So how much honey do you put in to start?
11.5 kilograms
Okay.
to start.
Good. So you said these were all wildflowers, so a combination of different flowers.
Yeah, in Wisconsin we're talking about clover and star thistle and basswood and all kinds of different
Each
things.
of those flowers are going to give a different component to the
different
honey.
characters.
It's warm, it's tasty.
Wow, really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Really, Yeah, and it really, when you taste the honey, it's got this, like it fills your whole mouth, and then it's got this really long length on it, right?
Yeah.
Like it just, the flavor keeps going and going, and
it's
just
spicy.
yeah, it's got a nice spice to it.
When we start a batch of mead, we start with less than 1/4 of the honey and more than 1/3 of the water.
Is that a common equation to making mead?
We're actually the only people in the country I know who do this. And the first time that we followed it, we could instantly see the huge difference it made. Our fermentation times were much faster, but more important than the speed was the quality of the flavor that came out. It didn't have any of the hot fusel alcohol flavors that I think people typically associate with homemade mead. It comes out a lot smoother and mellower, but as a result, it takes us 8 days to make a batch of mead because we do it in these stages where we're slowly adding honey in. All right, so Bill and Jason have mixed the honey and the water together, and they're gonna pump the honey and water into this nice sanitized fermentation tank.
This is like the shoulder bone connected to the arm bone. Should I flip the switch? You want me to do it? Oh, you trust me?
Yep, flip it towards the...
This way?
Yep. Keep going.
Oh.
You'll feel it.
Whoa! Do I hold it? Oh, I did it! Tell me how you got into mead.
Well, a couple different directions, actually. I have 2 master's degrees in medieval history.
Oh, wow.
So I've taught Beowulf.
And there's a lot of mead drinking at Beowulf.
There
right?
is,
Yeah.
set in a mead hall. And I also was kind of I'd say an obsessive compulsive home brewer. I tried to make every different style I could imagine, and eventually I made mead.
All right, so it's in there.
Yeah, so now we've got the mead in the fermentation tank.
And now we need the yeast lord, right?
Now it is time for the yeast lord and his domain.
What we do back here is our yeast. We count the numbers of yeast in a given volume, so we make sure that when we put it into what will become the mead, that there's enough for it to be a healthy fermentation that gets started fast. But now we know how much of the yeast mixture that we are going to need. So I'll just take off the relief valve here. Best way to think about it is a sourdough starter.
Okay, or like a kombucha.
Or like a kombucha.
Right,
So we
the
are.
mother yeast.
What's going to happen after I take this off of here is I'm going to put more honey and water back in.
I'd love to smell it too, because it does have that
So
really
yeah, so
strong
you
yeast.
might be able to smell it right now, but I'll definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now this is actually a weak form of mead because it is made with honey, so it's a continuously fermenting mead. All right.
And then we pour that in.
Pour that in.
All right, let's do it.
So I'm actually
You're
going to
gonna hand it over to
this.
me?
I'm going to hand this
Oh
over to
my
you.
god, you trust me?
I do.
Oh my goodness.
So
Any
that-
technique I should know about?
Well, start with it above the hole and pour it into the hole.
She's yeast lady for the day.
Look at that technique I've got.
My job
Oh
can be
my
replaced.
goodness. Did I do it too quickly? Too
No,
soon?
that was perfect. That was just perfect.
Oh, thank you.
So the goal is to get this yeast in there before anything in the air has a chance to colonize.
Oh, should I close the top
Yeah,
then?
you
Okay, see? I'm learning. If the top is heavy, this tiny little top, I'm definitely not cut out for this work. So now we'll let the mead do its thing.
Yeah.
In the meantime, in the mead time.
Now-
Do you ever? I wonder what we could do.
There's, I think we could have a meeting.
Oh, okay, let's go have a meeting.
Let's head down the hall.
All right. So do we go left or right on here?
You're gonna start at the handle, and that'll start
Okay.
you with the cherry mead, which is kind of one of the lighter flavors.
Definitely getting the complexity and the cherry, but also the honey flavors as well.
I really love the cherries that we're getting because I think they bring out clove and some of that savory element that you're
Door County
picking
cherries
up on.
too.
Yeah.
Really nice. So which one is the next one?
So the next one you're going to have is the pomegranate piment. Tori Miller, who's a famous chef here in Madison, Wisconsin, was invited to the James Beard House, and he actually brought our pomegranate piment along as one of the pairings for his appetizer course, and he chose to pair it with Wisconsin fried cheese curds.
Honey is a natural pairing for cheese, and especially this one. The honey is center stage. Now this last one, I'm so excited to try. This is the souk mead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So souks are the spice markets in Arabic countries. Peter was traveling to Dubai quite a bit for a while, and he was bringing back all these spices. He had vanilla beans and cardamom and star anise, and yeah.
I mean, this beautiful nose on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, that pairs, of course, really nicely with curries and things like that.
That's fantastic. But I can't believe how dry they all are. These are, I could just keep going. I don't know if you've got any other ones.
I know you guys have visited my friends at Roots Chocolate.
Yeah.
One of our just founding volunteers and now staff people, Scott Ostrander, came up with this really great idea for a vanilla and cocoa nib mead. And then I started talking with Lisa, and we had wanted to do a collaboration for a really long time. And I kind of put Lisa and Scott together, and they got really excited about cocoa nibs, and we were all really happy with the way it turned out. So this is, we call it Naipei. It's a very weird, deep Mystery Science Theater 3000 reference that Scott finds very enjoyable.
No, wow, fantastic. And almost like a coffee porter. It's got a bit of more of a bitterness to it.
Yeah.
In a good way, almost like bitterness adding structure to the mead. Well, thank you, Colleen, for this journey through the world of mead.
My pleasure, it's what I love to do.
Cheers.
Cheers.
There's things that I could be made to do with this scent. Chocolate has that kind of power over me.
How about, does it replace paychecks?
No, it doesn't.
And what's great is just think about like, really good bread toasted with honey. Like it doesn't get better than that.
Exactly.
And this is what that tastes like. It tastes like honey on toast, and it's can I have this for breakfast? Is this good liquid breakfast? We need smoothies.
It would be good with oatmeal, wouldn't it?
Right, totally.
Pairs nicely with oatmeal.
Mommy's oatmeal. I'm not sharing that one with the kids.
Yeah.
Wisconsin Foodie would like to thank the following underwriters for their support: Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board and the Dairy Farm Families of Wisconsin.
Packaging your vision for craft beer and spirits.
American Kitchen Cookware is helping food lovers everywhere embrace their own culinary adventure. Outpost Natural Foods, a proud supporter of local, organic, and Wisconsin foodie. Society Insurance, small details, big difference. Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. Lamers Bus Lines, providing Wisconsin with deluxe motor coach service, school busing, and more. Also, with support of the Friends of Wisconsin Public Television.
Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board, representing the dairy farm families of Wisconsin, who fostered a proud history with generations of family-owned dairy farms, working to sustain the state's economy through job growth and providing acclaimed cheeses and other dairy products.
Every product tells a story, and every story starts with a seed. Your story, your product, your company all started with an idea. Illing Company ensures you have the right packaging to help you proudly take your harvest to market. Illing Company is dedicated to packaging your vision.
American Kitchen Cookware is proud to support Wisconsin Foodie in helping food lovers everywhere embrace their own culinary adventure. With cookware manufactured right here in Wisconsin, we're working every day to make people's lives better in and out of the kitchen.